Today's Sunshine Note is titled, Oops, I Did It Again. Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. So Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Genesis chapter 20, verse 2. Does this story sound familiar? Just 8 chapters earlier in Genesis, Abraham, then still Abram, did the exact same thing when he went to Egypt. The exact same thing. Now I have a hard time seeing a guy shove his wife off to some other guy one time. But really, Abraham, you did it again? And to make matters more frustrating, the first time he did this, the trouble it eventually brought him was so painful that it almost broke up his whole family. Remember his first time around? He ended up leaving Egypt with a maid servant who would eventually become a second wife and give birth to Ishmael. When I see that Abraham gives his wife away to another king, I want to reach into my Bible, grab Abraham by the beard and shake him. And then I take a look in the mirror. How many times have I promised the Lord that if He'd just get me out of a jam, I'll never do that again. Suffice is to say, I've promised God many times that I was going to leave a particular sin in my life behind, only to be found doing that same thing again. Somehow, sin cons us into taking the easy way out so that we get into a habit of sinning. And the more we do it, the less we want to come back to the God we vowed we wouldn't have to come back to, again for the same thing we said we weren't going to do just 2 weeks earlier. It is a vicious cycle, so how do we get out of it? I found that every time I am tempted to sin, I have to make one of 2 choices. Number 1, keep God around and not commit the sin, or number 2, ask God to leave so I can sin. My suggestion, keep God around. Don't push Him away so that you can sin. Instead, bring Him all the closer so that He can give you the victory over that bad habit when it creeps up on you. Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. So Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. Genesis chapter 20, verse 2. May God bless you today.